Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Ladies and gentlemen, Neil Young.
When I first heard the Beatles back there in the 60s somewhere, first thing that I noticed was that I might be able to do this kind of thing myself. And so the first song I ever sang was a Beatles song. I sang, "Give Me Money, That's What I Want." Sang it at the school cafeteria, and it didn't go over that good, so we tried "It Won't Be Long, Yeah." And that was better. But the Beatles meant a lot to me, and Paul's music, and particularly his bass playing at that time, was something that a lot of the bands were very impressed with. Paul's bass playing. Not only that he played left-handed, but he really played. You know, I couldn't even really, I only knew 2 chords, so I was very impressed at the time. But as time went by, and the Beatles got huge, I joined Springfield, and Stills and I were listening to A Day in the Life, and we're listening to the last note of A Day in the Life, and listening to Paul's vocals and John's vocals and the great things that George did to the record, and so it was just like a marriage of all this talent coming together and creating this incredible thing, which none of us could really fathom at the time, and we were just trying to do our thing, in the shadow of this great thing that had happened between the Beatles and the Stones and the Who, and so I just kept on going, and eventually the Beatles broke up, and then about the same time I broke up myself, and so I started a solo career, one of the pieces, and that's the same time as Paul came out with his first solo album, the one on Apple Records with Maybe I'm Amazed on it, which I loved that record because it was so simple, and there was so much to see and to hear. It was just Paul. I mean, there was no adornment at all. There was no echo. There was nothing. There was no attempt made to compete with the things that he'd already done. And so out he stepped from the shadow of the Beatles, and there he was. And it kind of blew my mind. And I said, well, maybe I could do this too, So try that. So I made a simple record that didn't have any echo on them for a while. And anyway, make a long story short, I knew Linda a long time ago, and we were all very happy when Linda and Paul got together, and they had such a wonderful family. They have such a wonderful family, and I felt close to them over the years, and I have a lot of respect for Paul McCartney as a man for holding together a great family through the times of rock and roll, and through all of the success, and through all of the swirling. I have a lot of respect for that. And the rest of it is, you all know it. He's just a great songwriter, one of the greatest songwriters perhaps ever. I think he'll be remembered hundreds of years from now for the work that he did, starting with Yesterday and continuing on to today and tomorrow, hopefully. So, roll the tape.
Baby, I'm amazed the way you love me all the time.
Without the Beatles, rock and roll as we know it would not exist. Without Paul McCartney, there would have been no Beatles. In a single year, McCartney wrote and recorded Hey Jude, Blackbird, Helter Skelter, The Long and Winding Road, Let It Be, Get Back, and still had time to knock off Come and Get It, Back in the USSR, and Maybe I'm Amazed. With his solo career, McCartney continued to dominate radio. He wrote big ballads like My Love, rock and roll hits like Junior's Farm and Jet. He even got banned by the BBC for the political message of Give Ireland Back to the Irish. and he continues to push himself forward creatively. With Liverpool Oratorio and Standing Stone, he moved into classical composition, while the acclaimed Flaming Pie showed his rock and roll heart is still beating strong.
And on the run, sleep, little willow.
His partner in all of this was his wife, Linda. Theirs was a great love story.
Feel your wound.
McCartney always maintained that his greatest accomplishment was not the Beatles or his knighthood or being the most successful songwriter of the century. His greatest accomplishment was the family he and Linda raised. With John Lennon and then with Linda, Paul McCartney has remained true to one message above all others. In the end, the love you take is equal to the love you make.
Little willow.
Damn, son, where'd you find this?